Hey everybody, Winston Pagliaro here, your Civil Infrastructure Enablement Specialist. It's that time of year here at Autodesk where we are starting to take a look at yearly trends for our support case data. It was while doing this that I noticed a familiar issue has surfaced once again as one of the top InfraWorks issues. That is the issue of model corruption. Now, model corruption in the context of InfraWorks models means that one day you're in your model working just fine. The next day you come back, and when you try to open that model, you are greeted with one of several similar sounding error messages, and you are locked out of your model. Now, there can be a lot of causes of model corruption, but by far the most common is corruption of the Git repository stemming from storing them on OneDrive. Every time I see somebody impacted by this, I shed a tear because this issue really is easily preventable, but quite severe when it does happen. As I mentioned, you're pretty much locked out of your model. So that's what today's video is about, what this issue is, how does it happen, and how can we prevent it. Let's dive in. So what is this issue? InfraWorks models leverage a Git repository to track changes in the model and its proposals. This technology allows you to save time and resources by only having to load what has changed in a model instead of the entire model itself. And this repository is incompatible with OneDrive. InfraWorks model caches, both local and cloud, should be saved locally, although some of our customers do get away with saving these on network drives. The point is, saving these on OneDrive is very risky, and our data and experience here at Autodesk has shown that it's just a matter of time before the models are corrupted. So how does this happen? What leads to this issue? Imagine you're setting up a new computer. Your IT has helped you install InfraWorks, which by default places its files in your documents. You then go to set up OneDrive to back up your files, commonly including your desktop, photos, and your documents. You've just unknowingly given OneDrive permission to shift the InfraWorks model files from a locally stored documents folder to its cloud-based one. What's worse is that within InfraWorks, you can only see two of your model cache locations, the cloud model cache and the surface tile cache. You currently cannot see all of your cache locations in the program. So how can we prevent this? The first step is to check if you're affected. I'll present two options on how to do this. The first and best is through your registry. Browse to HKey Current User, Software, Autodesk, InfraWorks. And in this key, you'll see several paths. Scan them to see if any of them contain OneDrive paths. If you have IT departments with trust issues and can't get into your registry, you can check the cloud model and tile caches within the program and your user data folder through the log files. To find your log files, browse to your roaming app data, which by default is a hidden folder. And then go to Autodesk, Autodesk InfraWorks, Logs. Open up the most recent log and look for the user data folder, which should be near the top. If you see any OneDrive paths, you'll want to correct that by creating a local folder structure and editing the paths in your registry. In the knowledge article linked to this video, I've given you a picture of my registry, which uses the default folders that InfraWorks started with. But you don't have to set it up that way necessarily, as long as the locations are not on OneDrive or some other unsupported server configuration. Sometimes OneDrive can fool you into thinking you're local when you're not. On my screen here, I've got two File Explorer locations open up. The one on my right is my OneDrive backed up documents Autodesk InfraWorks Models folder. Some hints that it's OneDrive are the status column, and I can also check the path of a file in its properties. The one on my left is documents that is truly local with the folder structure that I had to rebuild after OneDrive tried to mess with me. At Autodesk, our system admin requires us to back up our documents, so we are just as much affected by this issue as you. I hope you now have a better understanding of OneDrive-related model corruption, what causes it, how to check if you're susceptible, and how to proactively set yourself up to avoid it. I know many of you don't have the permission to open and edit your registry, so please feel free to forward this content and the article linked in the description to your IT department. This will be my last video of the year, so I'd like to wish you all happy holidays. I'll see you all next year.